tried to expose Diddy, but he threatened to kill me. I know all of Diddy's secrets. I even know where he buried the dead bodies, but I am not involved with Diddy.
The rapper Jay-Z has been accused in a civil lawsuit of raping a 13-year-old alongside Sean Diddy Combs at a party in the year 2000.
This is the news that we brought you earlier in the week in our special episode that US rapper Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, has been mentioned in a US civil suit that alleges that he, alongside Sean Diddy Combs, drugged and a 13-year-old girl after the VMAs in 2000.
It was last March 2024 when the feds, in LA, in Miami, in New York, they enacted these raids on Diddy's home, and it's been nonstop coverage since then. And finally, we know he was obviously arrested in late 2024. And
how close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball. They wasn't playing baseball. They wasn't playing football. And they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
Diddy's federal trial took a crazy turn, and now Jay-Z's name is being brought back into the fray. They were close enough that they weren't playing basketball, baseball, football, hockey, or soccer. Yes, that Jay-Z who has been attempting to avoid being involved in any of them. Yes, the same Jay-Z who has been trying to stay out of all the chaos. However, it seems that a court may now want him to discuss it. Diddy isn't handling it well either. Let's begin with the fundamentals. The formal jury selection procedure for what is regarded as one of the most combustible celebrity cases in recent memory got underway on May 5th. Serious federal accusations have been brought against Sean Diddy Combs under federal racketeering statutes. We are talking about claims of organized crime, trafficking, and conspiracy, and the list of participants. It's enormous. The list of witnesses and places reads like something out of Lord of the Rings.
This is a very disturbing incident of physical violence. But what it is it actually matches up, almost word for word, with the complaint that was filed by Cassandra Ventura. I want to bring in right now Tracy Walder, former CIA and FBI agent, frequent contributor here on Sidebar, and also national security contributor here on News Nation. Tracy, your immediate reaction to seeing this, because it is absolutely gut-wrenching and incredibly disturbing to see, in my opinion. What do you think?
I could not agree with you more. It was shocking, quite frankly. It's not that I ever dismissed any of Miss Ventura's claims. I always have believed her and her claims. I suspect this video was probably used in terms of her bringing up that initial case. I'm also shocked, though, that there's not additional criminal charges as well. This is extremely severe, goes on for such a period of time, and she was clearly very much injured. It is just appalling to watch.
Rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
That video went viral. Diddy's carefully crafted image came crashing down. He released a public apology on social media, saying he was disgusted with himself and that he had been in therapy. But more importantly, it opened the floodgates for victims who had stayed silent for years. Since then, over 60 lawsuits have been filed, some already settled, some still active, painting a picture of a man who used power, influence, and money to control those around him.
I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
And his lawyers can lie, but video doesn't lie. And when it was clear that he was physically violent with Cassie, he really had no choice but to apologize. On the legal side, it didn't help him. It can be used against him. From a PR perspective, though, this was the right move.
The investigation grows. It's now pulling in people who are in his orbit. That includes longtime friends, business partners, and yep, even Jay-Z.
Really didn't know what what to expect.
You lie about your background.
I mean, that's all old news. I didn't lie about.
But I haven't.
What you do early on that kept you financially stable and now financially flourishing at this point in your life?
So what I did was find another passion. All my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares. And I figured out the biggest value and purpose in life is that it has nothing to do with money or buying all these things. I was young, manipulated, and I was a puppet.
We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit, and the new allegations are just coming out this evening. Jay-Z is being accused of minor along with Diddy at a MTV VMAs after party back in 2000, according to documents obtained by Fox News Digital tonight. The lawsuit, which was initially filed back in October, was refiled tonight in New York by an anonymous accuser claiming Jay-Z, whose full name is Sean Carter, while Combs and Celebrity B watch. So that other celebrity was not named.
After the news broke, Jay-Z's lawyer filed a motion on Tuesday. They've asked to deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously. They've also asked for the case to be dealt with as quickly as possible because of the highly sensitive nature of the matter and because of the media interest it's generated. The filed motion from Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, also says, for the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Carter is entirely innocent. This is a shakedown. He is not mentioned, referenced, or implicated in any way in the criminal investigation of Mr. Combs. He is neither a target nor a person of interest in that investigation. Cheyenne, I'll start with you. Sort of where were you and how did you react when you heard the new allegations?
I was actually coming out of a theater show, and so my phone just was filled with messages trying to work out what happened, and then Jay-Z's statement dropped, and so it was kind of all hands on deck on a Sunday night, which has been kind of the case for some of these updated filings. The news breaks at night, and the next morning it's just unfolding as things continue.
I was in the bed eating chicken wings, and they were delicious, and all of a sudden my phone just started text messages and messages from TikTok, and so I started doing my own research, and I had grease all over my fingers typing on the iPad, and I was just like, well, here we go, it's about to blow up.
I mean, this is kind of what people have been waiting for. When Tony Busby came out at the beginning of October and he promised to name other people co-conspirators, the facilitators of foul play, he called them. Was that kind of what you were seeing online, just comments of, oh, okay, it's beginning?
I think, since Diddy was arrested and the idea of his parties, people have been clamoring for additional names, other celebrities to now be pulled into that. And Jay-Z is one of the biggest celebrities so far pulled into it. So yeah, people were kind of waiting for a moment like this.
And if you listen to his lawyers, some of the things that they said that were pretty interesting is he's not a target. He's not a probe or things like this at the criminal investigation, because if he was a target, he would have received a target letter from the federal authorities saying, you come and sit down and talk to us. So his lawyer said, without saying, the federal government on the RICO allegations have never talked to Jay-Z. That's basically him saying, I already know nobody's looking at me.
Here's where the Jay-Z connection comes in. A man named Joseph Mansro filed a lawsuit claiming that he was lured into one of Diddy's parties in Miami back in 2015. He said he was forced into humiliating situations in front of powerful guests, and he specifically named Beyoncé and Jay-Z as being there, saying they saw everything and did nothing. Mansro described Beyoncé looking shocked, like she knew something was wrong. But Jay-Z, he claimed Jay stood there watching, not reacting. Now that's a bold claim, and Jay-Z's legal team immediately denied it. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, one of the most high-powered attorneys in the business, released documents proving that Jay-Z wasn't even in Miami at the time. Same with Beyoncé. They were actually at the Billboard Music Awards in Las Vegas, with plenty of photo and video proof to back it up. Shortly after that, Mansro changed the lawsuit. All mentions of the Carters were removed, almost like they were never part of the story, but the damage was already done. The public had already seen their names attached to this nightmare, and people started asking questions like, how much do Jay and Bey know about Diddy's world?
Prosecutors come forward and said that Jay-Z is pretty much in between a rock and a hard place. Jay-Z will be either forced to testify or he won't be subpoenaed to testify because he's being charged as a part of this RICO case with Diddy. So this is going to be an interesting situation to see how this plays out. I have a bunch of different pieces of information on this. I want to get into what Nicki Minaj has been saying too. She just actually, if you don't know, we can kind of break this news live. Nicki Minaj has just come out and put out some more statements about Jay-Z and Diddy. So we got to talk about that. You know, what she had to say about the situation. I'm going to pull up Diddy's indictment, the entire document, the 14-page indictment. And we're going to talk about this. Crazy situation, man. Crazy situation. We're going to see how this plays out for Jay. If you guys remember, earlier this summer, 50 had just been going crazy, posting content and memes and different things about Diddy, making fun of him. He actually just sold his documentary. I think he just sold his Diddy documentary to Netflix. They said he's been working on it for 10 years. So I want to talk about the situation with 50 and what he was saying prior to about Jay-Z being involved with the Diddy situation. This is an article about Diddy's situation. It says P. Diddy's rich and powerful friends such as Jay-Z could be forced to testify. That's what experts claim. That's the headline. And then they just kind of go into a synopsis and a summary of everything that Diddy has been charged with, what's going on with him, why it's going on with him. And, you know, I don't feel the need to reiterate all that. We already know what that is. I don't think we need to go back to the details of that yet. We're going to pull up his indictment, the 14-page indictment anyway. So this is what a prosecutor said. Let me see. Here we go. The article says, the former prosecutor Niyama Ramani explained to the U.S. Sun how those in Diddy's circle could be affected by any trial on the horizon. This is the quote that the prosecutor gave. Jay-Z and other celebrities can be subpoenaed, but they will almost certainly assert their Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination and refuse to testify. Now, this prosecutor is saying that Jay-Z and, you know, they named Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Leonardo DiCaprio, Pharrell, Snoop Dogg. They named these people in the article. She said that he could, or that if they're subpoenaed, they're probably gonna, you know, plead the fifth in order to avoid self-incrimination. Now, why that's important? Because if you didn't do anything wrong, why would you feel the need to worry about being incriminated? If you had nothing to do with nothing, if you legit. Now there is a point, or there's a part of this where people don't want to testify against Diddy because of the business relationship that they've had with him. But in my opinion, you know, I think pleading the fifth publicly is going to look just as bad as anything else.